Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today we're back at it trying to beat the hardest MMORPG in the world. And I'm talking hard, harder than a mortician watching Walking Dead. This game is crazy. It's called Entropia Universe. It's been around for almost 2 decades, and it's a real cash economy game, which means beating this game, and I'm going to define beating later, is one of the hardest things you can do in any game and pretty much in life. You got to become an entrepreneur, businessman, a gamer, all at the same time. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to beat the game in a new and interesting way. And this would be by sneaking back into the new player spawn area with good gear. So what I'm doing now is I've got 50 PEDs or 5 USD. I bought some probes to mine with, and what I'm going to be trying to do is drop these probes in a whole different area of Entropia Universe where most advanced players are never even allowed to go. They let you go back to actually complete these like quests and stuff like that. So I saw the shuttle, I jumped on it, and now we're here. And now we're here. We're doing something that probably the devs didn't even think anyone would do. This area is only designed for new players, so who knows what loot is hiding and where it might be hiding. The best part of all of this is you can view information on the claim, and you can see just how deep these claims are. 593 meters, this is a claim that most new players would never even see. And since I'm pretty much the only person here mining, I have some high hopes for this one. Also, if you're wondering, if you're new to this game, if you've never heard of Entropia Universe and you're looking to try it out, and I'm not even going to tell you you should try it out because it literally is one of the hardest games in the world, and it's an MMORPG, which means it's going to be a huge time suck, and it's a real cash economy, huge money suck. But if, despite all of this, you're still interested in playing the game, I've got an affiliate link down below in the description. If you use it, it actually really does help me out. Completely up to you though. There's no kickbacks or anything like that. If anybody can like if you ever talk to a Mind Arc representative, just tell them it would be really nice if there could be something given out to people who use the affiliate codes and people who use the affiliate codes in the future. It's something I'd really love to do. I'd love to do like an in-game shirt with the Serial Overdrive logo on it, and anyone who used that code gets it. Maybe even give it to some players who like make a certain deposit or something like that, just so people don't feel left out. It would be really cool to see. But anyways, Entropia Universe, back to the game. We're trying to beat this crazy game, and we're trying to beat it in a new and interesting way. Previously, we tried to talk to an AI that they created and convince it to give us all the tools to beat the loot algorithm. We weren't able to do that. So what we're doing now is we're trying to beat the algorithm by going where nobody expects us to go. The new player spawn area. Is this area capped? There's potential that you can never find any good resources here. There's also the potential that there are claims they're just sitting here growing and growing and growing, and no one's finding them because no one has the proper gear until me, Serial Overdrive, thought outside of the box just a little bit and decided to go where no one's gone. But well, where everybody who's played the game has gone before, but no one's gone before with a lot of skills. So let's see what happens. So far, actually, we are finding a good amount of claims, so I really do like this. And for those of you wondering, am I gonna like not post this video if it works? No, I don't do that. If you look back, I've been playing this. I've been playing this game for like well over a decade. I've been posting videos for over a decade too on this game. When I find a good loot area, I share it with everybody because I'm stupid. Let's be honest. Like my IQ's room temperature at best, and that's on a cold day. Anyways, let's start talking. Let's start playing. So the idea here is basically just no one's gone here before with anything outside of new player gear. So I'm hoping by going here with more advanced gear, I can get some better loot. A new player gear, they can't really find claims that are that deep. So this is mining in the game. You're looking for resources, ores, and end matter. And new player gear when it mines is it's going down maybe like 200-300 meters. That's the optimal depth for it, or it's stated in the information on this gear. But so the gear I'm going in is pretty much double that depth. So in theory, what's happening is any of these big claims that are traditionally missed by new players, they're going to be found by me. See, like 387, and any player could find that, right? Like, but my gear has a better chance of finding it because my gear's better at deeper depths. So I'm trying to take advantage of that fact, take advantage of the fact that more people don't come here with this gear, and hopefully find some good loot. We're gonna see what happens. I think this is a pretty interesting experience or experiment. So we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna see if we can make a little bit of profit here. And I don't know how easy it is to get back to this area. I've never actually had this opportunity before. The only reason I went back here is I literally saw a ship that said like boarding here was in the new player area. I jumped in it and I found myself here. I think that they're allowing players to go back and do some beginner missions if they're old players and never got to go through the starter experience. But most accounts have. This is an experience that's existed for like 8 years now. So how many people are there with my experience level going through? Probably very few. So let's just see. And if you're wondering, most players actually never even make it out of this area. That's how hard this game is because you've got to put money into the game to actually get anything out of it. Really, like let's be honest. They say it's free to play, and that's true, but it's also a bit of a lie. It's free to play, but when everything costs money, there's only a few things that you can do for free. Unless you really don't value your time, it's more efficient for you to. I used to say go out and look at phone booths for quarters, but I don't think it's actually more efficient now because phone booths are a thing of the past unless you live in the Matrix. I'm looking at you, Tate. But I know it's like you could go out and find more money scattered on the ground than you could looking for fruit on the ground here and trying to sell it to players. So most people, what happens is they go out and they grind out an actual real life job. One of those things that you get when you sometimes leave the house, sometimes you don't leave the house if you're a programmer. But they get one of those things and they deposit. Me, however, I started way back in the day, and I'm very determined to make things happen. So as a free to play player, I pretty much played the game without ever depositing. I made it to owning a land area, which is probably worth about 10,000 USD. Um, so basically, over 2 decades, I managed to make $10,000, which it sounds impressive when you say you did it playing a game, but it does not sound that impressive when you look at how many hours I spent and how many of those hours were spent just grinding and doing absolutely nothing. Now let's get off the path here because ooh, discovered a spaceport. Okay, I don't care about that spaceport though. I don't want to accidentally get on a ship and leave because the loot here is actually pretty good. Also, I just noticed did I let's turn the music volume up a little bit. Turn that master volume. Hopefully we can get a little bit of music, volume stuff going on here. If not, I might just put something on in the background to give you guys something to listen to. But yeah, I don't know. I have high hopes for this method. We're gonna see how it goes. So I've gone through this area before I follow this path. Obviously, you don't want to mind the areas that you've already been to. So I'm gonna go off the beaten path. It's literally a beaten path and into the forest, into the trees, and see what we can find. So let's just start dropping some probes here. And again, we have a horribly built barrier. Good job, guys. And I do like the game. This is a game that like when people ask why I like it, like people want you to sell it on them, it's all nostalgia. Like if we're being honest, this is not like the most craziest, insane game that you'll ever play. It's a very nostalgic game for me. I used to play this game all the time. Like this was sort of my like, you get back from whatever you're doing, you got a few hours to kill at night. You want to watch The Office or some movie that you can just put on in the background. You play an MMO. My MMO of choice was Entropia Universe. So this is sort of like a nostalgic thing for me. That's why I like it so much. But everybody's got to find their own reason for enjoying games, and this game can be a very, very hard game to enjoy. I love it though. Um, I don't know. It reminds me of like simpler times, right? Like I didn't, there weren't really. This was way back in the day, so like people had phones, but they weren't like what they were now. So I'd have like two screens up. One screen would have some movies running, a TV show running. I'd be playing some Entropia Universe. YouTube wasn't really the thing then, so it's not like you could listen to podcasts. You just have like some background shows going on. So a lot of the time it was like Stargate I was watching, just having a good time. I don't know. It was simpler days. And it was it was old school gaming. So I like to be able to sit back and reminisce sometimes, and it's nice. And that's why I like to play this game. Like a lot of people, they think since I've got this affiliate code that I should be selling the game or anything like that. But look, if this is something that interests you, it's a game that you are going to play because there is nothing like it in the world. And there's nothing like it in the world with the longevity of this. Crypto games are just cheap. No, actually, not cheap. They're just imitations of this game from what I've seen. Most of them do not have the legs to do what Entropia Universe has done. and it's literally going to do its third engine switch. Oh boy, did we just get? Oh boy, ho ho, Mindark, do not do this to me. They know what I'm doing. They just teleported me into the spaceship. We are not leaving, boys. We're not getting out of here. We're going back in. That was scary. I didn't expect them to do that. They just jumped me in there. All right. This island's got some tricks, but Serial Overdrive has more. Hopefully. Maybe. Possibly. We'll see. So where am I? I'm down here. So I think we're already here, but maybe we're on a different... No, we were here already. Let's just drop another probe. Nope, can't mine in that zone. All right. So we're going to have to go down the hill, jump to a whole new area, and then try mining there because I don't want to remine this. Well, maybe we should remine this area and just see if some more claims pop up. Because here's my theory on how mining works. So the way I think it works in basis is there's a claim there and there's a depth on that claim. Your chance of finding the claim is dictated by your skills and how deep your finder is set to reach. Those two things are combined that gives you a chance of finding a claim if there is a claim, and then the rest is just an algorithm, like a random roll of the dice. I think that's how it works. It's simple, but at the same time, it's nicely done. And each area has a different depth, and each areas have different stats and things like this. And if you can find an area that has a perfect depth for your finder and your skills, you're more likely to be successful. So you can see the average search depth is 522 meters, which means if I find an area that has an average like claim depth of 522 meters, I will be the most successful as I could be. So I think that's the whole game here, like finding the right area that matches your depth and finding an area that has a high markup ores and end matter. So it used to be back in the day, you could just find these veins and it would just be these lines of resources and follow those and mine to your heart's content. And that's amazing, right? But that is a little bit too easy. Also, back in the day, you could trail a miner and get the claim before them. So a claim was actually something that wasn't automatic. Right now, it's automatically claimed. It's yours. You run to it, you pull it up. But it used to be you couldn't do that. Whoever could get to the claim first was the person who actually got the claim, which meant when you're mining, you'd always have to be doing this to make sure no one was behind you, because if someone was behind you and then you found a claim that was back behind you, they'd see you turn around, they'd turn around, try and find it first, and they'd run to it and grab it. Also, they didn't show up on the radar, so that makes things even hairier. It was intense. It was intense, but it's sort of good that they undid this because like it's way more chill now, for being honest. Anyways, let's keep mining. Let's see if we can't break this game. Um, so yeah, if you look back, mining's had a few different tweaks and changes. I think that simple algorithm helps, and you can see right here, depth 380. So a new player can't find resources that are this deep. You've got to go in. Like they're less likely to find it than I am, I think. So I think going in with this gear gives me a very big advantage. And I'm just trying to play the field and see what we can do. And let's see. We're gonna see if this works at the end. We're gonna total everything up. Now, while we're doing this, you can see down here we've still got a few drops left. We're gonna see if we're profitable at the end. Well, let's talk merch, not Entropia Universe merch. We're gonna talk Serial Overdrive merch because I don't know if people know this. Like it's literally new. So the channel hit 50,000 subscribers. It's not all Entropia Universe subscribers. It's not all anything really. Like I do a lot of how-to videos, and I did a whole thing on Rust where I brand like I was doing console Rust for like 2 years, actually making a good amount of money doing it. I got tired. The game. It's a really good game, a really fun game, an amazingly built game. Nothing but good to say about that. But the community can be a little toxic, and that's an understatement. That is understatement. Yeah, it's like saying Ukraine and Russia don't really agree with each other right now. That's an understatement. They really hate each other right now, at least politically, I'd say. I don't know about the people. I can't speak for them, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's an understatement, right? Like, it is a toxic game. It's one of the most toxic games I've ever played. Like in the year 2024, there are still people debating whether it's valid to use the N word because it enrages people and makes them more likely to make mistakes. So it's the only game I've ever seen someone defend racism by saying it's tactical racism. And there's players that agree with that. They're just like, yeah, it makes sense. Tactical racism, it's a thing. I don't think it should be a thing. I think it's ridiculous. Um, Anyways, that's Rust, and you can imagine that after a while it does get a little old, that level of toxicity. That was actually a pretty good claim right there. So I'm putting it down for a little bit. I'm going back to PC Rust here and there. I still love the game. I love the concept of the game. It's just it gets to be a little much, and I find myself walking away more upset than when I started, and that's not what I want from gaming experience. In Tropia Universe, on the other hand, I walk away more relaxed than when I started because I'm not gambling like a ton of money here. I'm trying to figure out the loot algorithm. I'm trying to break even, but if I don't, if I lose money, it is what it is. It's not a pocket $5. That's just to me, $5 is not a significant enough amount of money for me to worry about. I'm just playing the game, having a good time. I've never even withdrew money from this game, so it all just sits in here. So, it's a use it or lose it type situation. I'm not even losing that much. So why not? Anyways, I don't know how I got on that talk, but yeah, I've got 50,000 subscribers. And at 50,000 subscribers, I wanted to do something a little special for people who can't mind the application. All right, we're gonna go over here for people who've been following the channel, right? People who are part of the channel, people who supported the channel, just to give them some options to not just support their channel again, but sort of like feel like they're more part of it. So I made some. Oh, we got double claims right there. Bing bang boom. Oopsies. Got a little guy chasing me here. That's okay though. They give me some free dodge skills, or evade skills. Anyways, I wanted people to feel more part of the channel, so I made some merchandise. I was in Japan recently. I got inspired by some of the stuff I saw there. I really like how they do this. Like, it's like a very discreet shirt. Like, you get black, and then you get this like nice little sort of gray outline that you see it, but it's not something that's like in your face. And I like that. I like designs that aren't like too flashy, right? Like, I'm the type of person that if I'm at the store and I like a design, I will buy a shirt like that's expensive, but I don't necessarily like shirts that just scream like I paid a lot for this or this is a brand I love, right? Like brands are brands. There's a few exceptions to that. There's a few brands that I think are really amazing, but I don't think I deserve that, and I don't think a company like Gucci deserves that or Louis Vuitton or whatever. Like I'm not just gonna buy something and get it because it's got its name plastered all over it. Like I think to me it feels like it's just not my style. I like something that's a little more discreet. So I thought it would be cool to put out merch that was a bit like that, right? A little more discreet and just sort of, all right, we got to get a gun out here. This thing's doing a little more damage than I thought he would. What do we have here? We got an Azuro. Yeah, let's just play with this pistol. Why not? Oh, we do not have enough shots to pull this one off, do we? Hmm. But we do have explosives. I don't know what that was. He was like running away and then he came back. Now we're just, use a rocket launcher and see if we can't. There we go. For those of you wondering about beating the loot pool and everything like that, using explosives to hunt is extremely inefficient. Do not do as I've done, just done. Anyways, I got some. I like that design, so I tried to make some designs that were like you got the little Serial Overdrive logo. Somewhere it's a little bit bigger, and somewhere it's like more of a discreet, sort of in the background type thing. Why you'd want to buy merch? I think it's cool. Like honestly, if I'm like if I want to buy like an Entropia Universe hoodie for when I'm playing Entropia Overdrive merch for when I'm recording a video. Like I like to theme myself when I do games like this, you know? When I'm playing Rust, I spawn in naked, so I am sitting there butt naked, which makes it very awkward because I've got that big picture window out front so I can see what's going on in front of the house and school bus drops the kids off and they don't like it any more than I do. But look, if the devs wanted to change it, they could make characters spawn with clothing. I could do it in the options too, but I choose not to, just like they choose not to. Anyways, um, no, like I like to theme myself to the game I'm playing, right? Like Christmas, I like to wear Christmas stuff. You don't see me wearing it in July because that's not my thing. I'm not Australian. The days aren't mixed up in my head. And now, I wanted to make a few different merch options like that. So there's a whole merch store. If you're wondering about the prices, they seem a little steep to me. Okay, they do seem a little expensive. I get that. But honestly, on everything, if you go to that video where I say thank you for helping me get to 50,000 subscribers, which honestly, thank you. Like every single one of you, I couldn't done it without you because 50,000 is a number and it needs like 50,000 people. And if you subscribe, you're one of those people. And if we can get to 100,000, that would be amazing. We are closer now to 100,000 than we are to zero. So that is something that I'm super pumped about. And if we can get there, that would be awesome because then I get like this nice little plaque and I can hang it up in front of my computer and look at that and say like I did a thing, which is cool. Like how many people get that? I actually don't know the numbers, but it's a rare thing to get unless you're someone like Cristiano Ronaldo or some famous dude who can just make 10 million YouTube accounts and get 10 million buttons. Then it doesn't really matter to you, but to me it does. To me it does. So it'd be amazing to see. And all that's to say is for the people who contributed, for the people who want to feel like a part of the channel, I wanted to make merch and I wanted to make it as cheap as possible. So all of the merch, I'm making $1 to $2 on it. It's extremely minimal what I'm making it. Making is basically the cost to produce the merch through Teespring is the cost that's passed on to you. The prices differ based on where you're located. That's because of shipping, production, I guess, and everything like that. So I think it's a lot cheaper in the US than it would be in the EU. And there's just like less, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe it's taxes or what, but like profits are less there. So I did what I could to make everything seem as fair as possible, to match the prices as evenly as possible. And in most cases, I'm literally making less than $1 off every purchase because I want people to feel like they're part of the channel. I want them like you've helped me get to this by liking a video, by watching even this deep into a video, by enjoying the channel. Like you're motivating me to keep going. You're motivating me. Every view counts. Like that motivates me to keep making videos. People commenting and having these discussions in between videos that motivates me to, talk about more. And if you've been around for any amount of time, you've actually played probably a more important part in this channel than you realize. Um, and I feel like trying to profit off people buying merch at this point would, in a way, be sort of taking advantage of things. And it's not taking advantage. It would just be, it wouldn't feel right to me because I know times are tough. There's a lot of layoffs. I'm not even working right now. Um, so money's tight for people. And I don't want to be the reason that people are not able to pay for something. It's just maybe the next time you go out to buy a hoodie or you go out to buy a t-shirt, if you want to support the channel, you can buy one of these t-shirts instead of your typical shirt. And hey, if you're looking for cheap t-shirts that are even cheaper than what I've got, TJ Maxx is amazing if you're in the US. They've got some great deals too. Like I buy a ton of stuff from there because you can get these like really cool looking things for like $5-10. And some of it's fast fashion, but some of it has actually lasted a while. Which I love. I mean, I wear shirts like people make fun of me because they're just like they're like in real life they'll be like, "Wow, why are you like?" I've got a nice car, and they'll be like, "You're driving that, and you're wearing that. What's going on? You got your car is a nice like shiny color because I just bought it. I'm happy with it. And then again, your shirt is faded. I'm all it's a 15-year-old shirt, and it's like, why are you wearing a 15-year-old shirt in a expensive car? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't like to throw things out. I don't like to waste, and the shirt's still good. Like it's not ripped anywhere, so it's just a little faded color. Maybe they'll come into style at some point. I'm told it will never come into style at any point, but I still wear it. I do have new clothes too. Like if I'm not one of those guys who think showers are optional or anything like that. Like if I'm going to a nice restaurant, I'm not gonna wear a tattered, like decaying, decrepit shirt. But if I'm just going out to a bar to get a few drinks, like why not? Or if I'm going to work. It's funny because I'm looking for a job right now, but when I wasn't looking for a job, if I go into work dressed up, people would always accuse me of job hunting. Like literally, like there was a job I worked at, and for a while I was just sort of like it was winter. I was just wearing hoodies, whatever. And then like when nicer weather comes out, I'm gonna go out to eat, like go out for some drinks with the girlfriend, all that. And I decided to dress up nice, like I got my button up on, I go into work. And the first thing I'm asked in a meeting is like, "Where are you applying to?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, you never worn a button-up shirt before. If you're wearing a button-up shirt, that probably means you're applying for a job." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm going out after work. I want to look nice." And like nobody wears button-up shirts to work anymore. At least not in computer engineering fields, you only do that if you want to look good for an interview. And I stayed for another year and a half, so I'm assuming I proved to them either that I'm a complete idiot and failed the interview, which is it's me, so 100% possible, and or I proved that I was not actually going for a job. Um, but yeah, it's like nobody ever wears button up shirts, so I'm allowed to wear stuff that's faded that fits in with the culture, I guess. I don't know. It makes me look down to who knows? Who knows? But people are okay with that, but they're not okay with me wearing a tux. So if they are okay with it, why not just reuse shirts that are a little old? Anyways, if you're going out to buy another shirt, I don't want people to buy more just because I'm selling it or anything like that. But if you're interested, the stuff's all there. It's honestly, I like the designs. I've got some of it for myself. I haven't gotten it yet, but I think the designs are cool. We're gonna take a look at it, make sure everything's good, and it'd be cool if people join me. If you have a picture, post if you get the merch and you have a picture, post in the Discord. Hit me up on I was gonna say Twitter, X, whatever it is, but I deleted it because honestly, like I, I I'd log in. It was like I'd get way too many fight videos, and I'm an idiot, right? Like I was I'm an idiot when it comes to this stuff, okay? Because just I'm watching a zombie movie, and I get like I'm looking at these. Okay, it was like, oh, what was it? It was a Taiwanese zombie movie. I forget what it was called. It actually wasn't too bad. It was like, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't too bad, right? Like I'm watching the movie. It was getting late. I wanted to go to bed, but I'm like, whoa. I was in Japan. I was like, it's gone to bed, so I was watching it. I know Japan's not Taiwan, but close enough. Anyways, there was like a zombie attack on a subway. Complete like tons of gore, all this. Like it's not realistic at all. But in my mind, when I went to pause the movie, I'm like, but what if this happens tomorrow? And I am not prepared because I didn't know how the main character got out of it. And I watched the whole movie because of that. Like that's how stupid I am. Like I watch zombie movies. I'm like, I think I'd be ready for that one. And every now and then I'm like, that would have got me too. In reality, I'd probably be like the first one to go. I'd be listening to my headphones, watching some stupid video, and I get bit in the butt, and that would be it. It wouldn't even be a cool ending, right? Like, wouldn't be some grand fight or anything. I'd just get bit in the ass, and that would be done. I'd be done for, donezo, gone. Gone. Actually, I'd be a zombie, so I'd be the antagonist. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Yeah. I'm a little stupid when it comes to that stuff, but yeah, my survival skills do not exist, but if there is a zombie apocalypse, I might be prepared. That's the other thing. Like I don't know, especially after COVID. Like I got a little bit more into. I started. I thought I was getting into prepping, right? Because I think it's like I'm like, all right, after COVID, and like I'm up in the Northeast most of the time. Like that's where I'm living, or Boston, the Boston area. I'm not in downtown Boston, but like you get some big snowstorms sometimes. You can get snowed in for a day or two. So I'm like, well, it wouldn't be bad to have like some extra food and all that. And, like, yeah, why not? Like, why not have some solar power so you can get like the heat going when when the power's out, or like there's a few scenarios that could realistically happen. I'm like, you save another week or two, and then you're ready if there's another COVID type event. Because I don't know, after COVID, it's like in the back of my head that like if this happens again and there's a shortage of toilet paper, I could be out in the wilderness wiping my butt with poison ivy on accident, and then you can't go to a doctor because COVID, and so you just gotta suffer through poison ivy butthole, and that is not something I want to experience. So I'm like, we should stock up on some of the stuff, especially if we got the room. Why not? I'm gonna refine some stuff so it weighs a little bit less, and then I can run again. Yeah, I don't know, my dark. That's a little insensitive. Fat people can run. I think I should be able to run if I weigh 324 kilos. It's just my backpack. So, if we're being honest, it's probably like 400 kilos. I think a 400 kilo man could definitely run a bit. Like that's completely reasonable. Um, say we're gonna drop down to 319 kilos. Wow. And look at that. I'm Speedy Gonzalez again. My character is jacked. It's got the thighs of a god. Anyways, let's go over here in mine a little bit. I don't even know where I went. I'm just too busy talking. But yeah, I don't know. Like I started looking into the prepper thing, and this is how these videos go. By the way, I go off on tangents. They're insane. Um, started looking into the prepper thing, and speaking of insane, they're like, "Ooh, we got a level 7 hit. Nice, average." That's what she said. I think it's great. No, it's like some of them are a little crazy. They're like they're prepping for things. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not a part of that community, right? Like I was thinking like this could be good. Like maybe there'll be another COVID. Like some of them are legitimately like prepping for zombie invasions and stuff. It'll be like it feels like a support group for crazy people sometimes. Because there's another one that was like prepper intel. So like I thought, oh, this has to be good. You can get intel on the next apocalypse, and sometimes it'll be like U.S. moves 15 troops to Ukrainian border. Is this time for nuclear war? And then there'll be people in there like, I'm stocked up and ready to go. I've got 10 years worth of rations. The bomb shelter's open. My whole family's sleeping down there tonight because those 15 dudes are going to. It's like, no, 15 Americans on the Ukrainian border doesn't even qualify as a tourist bus. Like, they could be going there to get, like, to visit the local IKEA. Like, who knows? But, like, people are just, like, insane sometimes about this. And, over there, like, I'm trying to think, there's some crazy ones that happened. It's like, there'll be like wastewater detects bird flu. And people are going nuts. They're like, it's going to happen. This is it. I'm prepped. I'm ready. I'm not going out for the next 3 weeks. Another guy's like, I'm staying in for 3 months just to be safe. The government might be hiding the numbers. And then there's someone else that COVID doesn't exist, but it sure does. All right, dude. Anyways, they're going nuts on this stuff. And then you'll see like someone like downvoted into oblivion, like -69. Like this is a subreddit where things get like 10 upvotes because I'm joining the fringe, right? And not my hair. Anyways, though, it's like people are really like going in on it. Let's go and see how much we've gotten. Anyways, people are really like like going on in this guy like 69 downvotes. There's comments below being like, "You shill, how could you say such a thing?" And then you look and it's like, what did he say? There's a lot of birds in this area. It could just be pigeon poop. That's what he says. Like, it's completely possible that bird flu didn't jump from birds to cows to humans all at once, and the CDC, FBI, CIA, KGB, and everybody in between is covering it up. It's completely like the pigeon just pooped in the water, and that's what was detected, or something like that. It's like, well, that does make more sense than an outbreak that's been covered up and that will cause us all to go into lockdown for an indefinite amount of time. And then there'll be like death reports, and someone's like, "Oh, no one's really died from this yet," and someone else will be like, "It could have a 50% mortality rate or greater." It's like, well, yeah, it could, but it could also be way less. Like it's just like I thought I was gonna be with it, but I was not. They're a little crazy with some of that stuff. So, anyways, I bought extra ramen noodles and I called it a day. I watched a zombie apocalypse movie, which in my mind counts as prep. So let's see where we're at. We went out with 50 PEDs. There's not much decay in the finder, so 50 PEDs. If it's above that, we are win. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at markup and pretending maybe we can get back 62 PEDs. So you might think this is insignificant, but we've got actually decent markup on some of this stuff. So you're looking probably at an extra like 2 or 3 PEDs, which when all is said or done, like 63 PEDs or 13 PED profit on a 50 PED run, that's like 26% profit. If I can keep doing this, I think we might have ourselves a winning strategy here, boys. I don't know if I can get back here, but if there's an auctioneer somewhere, I might be able to use them to get some amps in here and actually go wild on this thing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments if you've got any questions or anything like that. Otherwise, thank you again. And until next time, do something good for each other. Peace.